Okay, guys, let's look at section 5.0.0 Personal Protective Equipment, or PPE. Some trade terms that you should look over and be familiar with. It says the most common PPE: hard hats, eye and face protection, gloves, foot and leg protection, hearing protection, respiratory protection, high visibility clothing. All these are forms of personal protective equipment that are designed to protect you from a certain danger in various different ways. I would ask you with the PPE here, is this your first line of defense or your last line of defense, the PPE? Is it the first thing you go to or the last thing you go to? A lot of people would say it's the first line of defense, but it's actually the last line of defense. See, our first line of defense is an engineering control. I'm going to engineer away the danger. My next step would be a managerial control. I'm going to have somebody to manage people away from it. And when an engineering control or managerial control won't remove the danger, then I go to my last line of defense, the personal protective equipment. And once I have assigned you the personal protective equipment, it is your responsibility to take it, inspect it, and properly wear it at all times. Okay? It says, warning, you must comply with good general work and safety practices for your clothing. Do not wear clothing or jewelry that could get caught in machinery or otherwise cause an incident, such as loose clothing, baggy shirts, or dragging pants. Must wear a shirt at all times. If you're at work and they let you work without a shirt on, you're probably at the wrong place. It says some tasks will require long sleeve shirts. Your shirt should always be tucked in unless you are performing welding. Hard hats. It says, warning, no article should be worn under the hard hat that could interfere with fit and visibility. This includes ball caps or hoodies that obscure peripheral vision. Only employer-approved gear is to be worn under the hard hat. Safety glasses. So safety glasses, tinted safety glasses, safety goggles. We'll make sure that we're wearing actual safety glasses that has a rating to them instead of just sunglasses or something else that's there. Face shields. It says face shields are added over safety glasses for certain tasks such as grinding. Grinding means you have safety glasses and a face shield on. Gloves. It says gloves on many construction jobs you must wear heavy-duty gloves to protect your hands. Construction work gloves are usually made of cloth, canvas, or leather. Make sure your gloves are a good fit. It says footwear rules. Wear canvas shoes or sandals. Never wear canvas shoes or sandals on a job site. Always replace boots or shoes with a worn out sole. Don't wear shoes or boots that are soaked in oil. Never carry tools pointed towards you, such as scissors or screwdrivers. Don't carry them in your pants pockets. Use a canvas leather tool sheath with all sharp ends pointing down. When using special equipment such as chains and brush hooks, use shin guards, and consider stability when stepping onto locations where materials are stored. Hearing protection, overlooked a lot. It says, unlike damage to most parts of the body, ear damage does not always cause pain. Exposure to loud noise over a long period of time can cause hearing loss, even if the noise is not loud enough to cause pain. Gives you some examples of things and how much noise they make and how long you can be exposed to it before you have damage. If I'm exposed to 90 decibels for 8 hours a day, such as on a power lawnmower, then I have to have hearing protection. Respiratory hazards. You know, we breathe in a lot of sheetrock, brick, concrete, dust, and other things. Even if the company wasn't supplying it, I could buy a really cheap dust mask nowadays, keep it with me for my personal self, and keep from breathing this stuff. It says that we breathe in dust from metal grindings, concrete, toxic fumes from welding and flame cutting, working with cleaning solvents, low oxygen places, spray painting, sandblasting, working with chemicals such as chlorine or ammonia. It says if you're working in an area where silica dust is present, you know, silica is a little package that comes in the beef jerky, or it comes in a box of new shoes, and it soaks moisture out of the air. You don't want moisture in your beef jerky, it'll make it spoil. You don't want it on your shoes. I don't know what it does to your shoes, but it keeps them from doing whatever it does. It says on the little bag, do not eat. Because you eat it, it starts trying to dry you out and stuff. Well, if you're breathing in that dust and it's coming into your body and it's trying to dry out your lungs, and it causes silicosis and all kind of other problems. We don't want to do that. Never work around silica dust without proper training, authorization, and PPE. Asbestos, working in a building that's built before the 60s or 70s, just general rule of thumb is it could possibly have asbestos in it. It says it is a hazardous material that can be harmful to your lungs. Prolonged exposure can cause asbestosis and a cancer called mesothelioma. Sources include older insulation and other building materials, floor tiles, pipe insulation, drywall compounds, reinforced plaster, along with some roofing and siding materials. And then respirators. To wear this respirator, I have to be fit checked. It means I have to go to a physician. They have to make sure I can wear it and that I'm healthy enough for it and that it completely seals. We're not wearing these just to be around dirty air. We're going to be around chemicals and other things and gases that you cannot breathe. So this stuff has to fit right and you have to use it right. And we have self-contained breathing apparatuses, supplied air mask, full face piece with chemical canisters, and a half mask or mouthpiece with mechanical filter. When you're wearing a respirator, you want to follow company and government procedures when choosing the type of respirator for a particular job. Be sure that it is safe for you to wear a respirator, meaning that you can physically wear it. Always use an appropriate respiratory protective device for hazardous material involved and the extent and nature of the work to be performed. Okay? So here's some review questions for section 5.0. It says, when is eye protection required on a job site? Pick the best response in bright sunlight, at all times, when welding, when using a drill. I'm going to say at all times. What type of glove should an electrician wear? Now, we don't put on any gloves and touch any hot work. No gloves insulates us from wires. A pinhole, a place in the fabric, the weave of it, things that you don't even see. The tiniest hole there is in a glove, if I touch a hot wire, it would be the exact same result if I took the glove off and grabbed the wire. Okay? So we don't want to say, electricians put on gloves and start touching wires. Linemen put on a rubber insulated glove that they've checked daily before they use it, and they get sent off to a testing laboratory every so often, and they check it to make sure there's no pinholes in it. Because a pinhole would be just as good as not wearing it. So they check it before they put it on, and then they put on a pair of leather gauntlets over the top of it. They are pretty much insulated, right? We don't have all those things. Rubber insulated gloves. What type of footwear should never be worn on a job site? Steel-toed boots, new boots, canvas shoes, leather boots. We said canvas shoes. What is the name of the lung disease that you can get from inhaling silica dust? Silicate, pneumonia, asthma, silicosis. Silicosis. Positive and negative fit checks should be performed on a respirator the first time it's worn, weekly, every time it's worn, or monthly. We're going to check it every time we wear it. All right, that's the end of that section. Next section will be 6.0.0 job site hazards, and I will see you over there.